Hello, welcome to episode 107 of the Spare Change Challenge on Ignition Poker. It's May 16th, 2017, and I haven't streamed for a few days. I took my normal Sunday, Monday off from streaming, but I also didn't stream late last week. And the reason is I got a malware virus of some kind on my computer, and it was constantly popping up. It was adware, I guess. Yeah, so basically took my computer out of commission all day Friday and some of Saturday. I spent all that time cleaning up my computer and didn't get to play or stream, so it was pretty annoying. But we're back, hopefully ready to go strong here. I did play yesterday and the day before as well. Not really sure how I ran. Decent sometimes, not so decent others, but you know, whatever happens, happens. Wow, this guy is 17-9 over 23 hands. This might be... Is there a fish behind? This might be a fold. Okay, that's a fold. Some players it'd be a shove, some players it'd be a call, but again, thinking against that particular player with no fish. If there was a fish in the blinds, I would call. But I think it's a fold, as is. So far I've been playing for about 30 minutes. I've ran pretty bad in this session so far. I got all in versus ace-9 with ace-queen and we chopped. I got all in with top pair and a blocker against the bottom end of a straight draw and he turned it. And I lost a flip with ace-king versus pocket threes in a spot where he shouldn't be calling. And yeah, so that's where we stand right now. I did win on one all-in. Flip, I think. So I'm going to take this line here. There's nothing we can do in this spot. I think this can be a shove sometimes. Yeah, this is a shove here. Versus a guy opening 4 out of 4 steals now with king 10 suited in the big blind. This table is okay, maybe? I don't know. Kind of a small sample. Yeah, I think we'll refresh this one here, try to find a different one. So I'm not 100% sure that guy's a fish. Stack sizes, probably want to do this one as well. Alright. Trying to do as much table selection as I'm trying to. If the table just doesn't look, that's probably the same table. Well, apparently there's not much else available. I'm going to try and get off of this three-handed one though. I'm going to give one more chance here. Try to be picky, but I know that it can lower my hands per hour significantly being too picky, but I think we need to try and be a little bit more picky. Let me see if I can mute my... Sorry about that. Some ad popped up. And it was not from the virus, it was from Twitch, because I have my stream going and I'd like to make sure everything's running good. I was going to tell you this Friday, but I did tweak my Twitch settings. I switched... Not my Twitch settings... I can't talk today. My Twitch settings, my OBS settings actually. So I switched to a different server. The closest one to me was Virginia. New York was pinging pretty much the same, so I switched to try that one to see if that's the issue. And I lowered a couple other things, like the resolution of the stream might be a little bit lower for you guys, but hopefully it's not a noticeable amount. And maybe that will speed up the stream as well, and I won't keep getting these freezing periods or whatever it's called. I don't know. So yeah. So yeah, good to be back streaming again. I did slack a little bit last week. It wasn't just because of the virus or whatever. I didn't play as much as I want to. And there was just a variety of reasons, but I'm trying to make up for it this week. I did play 4 hours yesterday, which has gotten me ahead of the game, trying to get toward my 30 for the week. I'd actually like to do about 34 or 5 this week to make up for a little bit for last week, because I still have that goal of 30,000 hands. I'd be happy at 25 and okay with 20,000 hands this month, but I prefer to hit my goal, you know, my target. So we'll see. I'm not gonna be completely frustrated if I don't hit it, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do this month. I'm trying to get as much volume as I can, build a sample for the way things are now, the changes and everything. I will check call this river. I think he's going to have some 10s, but I think he's also going to have just air that he's just trying to pick up the pot in a blind versus blind spot. He could also have a 3. He could try and value bet, you know. Be kind of crazy, but he could do that, certainly. So I think it was Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I think I ran the best I've run in a short period of time in ages. And after about the 4th all in, I started keeping track, and I ended up running 10 high. Just took it down. It's pretty interesting. I ended up winning 9 out of 10 flips, or 10 out of 11, or something like that. Or not flips, but all ins, period. And that was like in an hour period, or maybe even 50 minutes. So I haven't not run that good in a long time. I just can't remember the last time I ran that good. So I don't know how much I was up for the session, but I kind of have an eye. It was probably a couple $100 anyway, you know. So yeah, it's good to have a run good period like that. Probably going to get rid of this table. Try for another one again. We're going to keep trying. If it doesn't look just perfect, I'm going to try bouncing around. Damn it! It just says OBS Studio disconnected, reconnecting again. So apparently the tweaks I made did not work. So it's got to be something else, because I can't. There's really no way I can lower my settings anymore. I mean, I think I have it on the bare minimum to stream. And I switched servers, so that's not it. My internet connection seems steady. I just don't know. Anybody has any ideas, I'm all ears, but I have no idea what the hell's going on. And if I can't solve it, I guess we'll just have to go back to the original OBS and stop using Studio. And maybe that won't fix it either, but that's at least the next step before I just give up. I don't want to do that, you know, but also don't want to have a shitty product either. This is interesting. I'm just deciding whether this is a ship or a call. I think the low variance play is fine here. Yeah. So I mean, once we flop this way with an SPR of like 2, we just have to go with it. So, but I think check shoving is better than. Of course, if it checks through, we can check call the turn and not have to put it all in. So I think we'll just try to see a river now. I don't think there's any point betting. I don't think there's any way we get 3 ranges to fold here. This gentleman here could also be slow playing, or lady. He could have had top set here and now be checking or betting the turn. So we have to be careful here. I don't even know if we would call a significant bet here. We might just check fold if it's like $8 plus, because it is a paired board, and we don't like to call big bets when we're 1, not getting the right price, and 2, we could be drawing dead. So we were happily going to get it on the flop, but once that turn comes, it's just a mediocre hand at that point, right? So it's all good. I certainly could lead that, but I prefer it not to be 4-way when I do that. I'd rather it be a 3-way. I don't know that it's even a profitable play in that spot on that board, 4-handed. Because we'd obviously have to shove the river as well. And on a paired board, it's just, I mean, if somebody's going to call the turn, they're probably not folding many rivers, right? Yeah, we're just going to squeeze here with only 22 big blinds behind. It's pretty innocuous board here, you would think, right? So unless somebody's got 6-3 or a set or king-3 or king-6, we're happily getting it in here. I don't think it's a place where we really want to check value. That's a pretty bad card because he could have 4-5 in his range, or ace. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tricky spot if he just bombs it here. I don't think we can fold. I think we check back though and just keep it to a minimum loss in case he got there. And maybe get one more straight from like a ace 6 type hand. It's a bet fold on this river, I think. And looks like we probably got pretty close to maximum value because I'm guessing he had a 6x hand. Or pocket 7s or something like that. Yeah, we'll sit in here. But we can certainly check. He had a, so it's kind of disappointing he had a king there. Sucks that he didn't raise the flop with his top pair. But he has 0.5 aggression factor. So he had the one hand we probably could have got all 3 streets. We probably could have got an L in there. But I think the majority of his range doesn't include top pairs there. So I think the way we played is probably optimal for his entire range. Or more optimal than just bomb, bomb, bomb. I think bomb, well, I think bomb, bomb, he calls, and then folds his 6x on the turn, or calls one more street and folds the river. I don't know, you kind of have to weigh the fact that we're probably getting 2 streets out of his second pairs anyway. But his air hands, by not betting the turn, we get a chance for him to bet the river. So maybe that mitigates the fact that we're losing value against the top pairs in his range, because we do open up the opportunity to get him to bluff sometimes. I don't think we can just pound it in here with a jack 8-9. I think check call might be the best bet on this board with dirty outs, and maybe even see a free turn. And once again, we can't really just bomb now. We have to bet though. We're not real thrilled about getting raised here. But I think people won't raise without a flush here very often. Bet fold. Certainly some 2 pairs and such out there that can call us, or maybe even 1 pair type hands. I decided not to bet the turn because we have showdown value here. Just a matter of whether we think we can call here, and I just think this board is way too dynamic. This guy has, well, he only has 5 hands, so that's pointless. I don't think our ace is strong enough to call here. Yeah, I mean, I would expect him to check 7, a check a 3, check pocket 8, 9s. I mean, maybe not 9s. Maybe he would bet 9s. Yeah, this actually is closer than you think to a call here. Because it's 3-handed, I think I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. Although I do expect him to have air here sometimes. He could also have ace 10, and that would be pretty gross because I think his 10 would play. So we don't want to run into that, right? That would be pretty silly. I think it's a safe fold. We weren't fighting for that much. We only had our initial raise invested, so that's why I think a fold is probably better. If we had bet at any point, this is like the 3rd time I've hit trips in this session. I did get paid 1 time. We're not going to slow play a board like this because this is the type of board you get check raised light on. So we're going to bet call here, and then hopefully he shoves the turn with something other than pocket 3s or queen 3. Unfortunately, no action. I guess I could bet smaller there to induce. Maybe it'd be better. I kind of wanted to bet at least 10% of my stack to give myself a chance to get in. I guess 250 would be more in line. 220. Yeah. I don't know. I'm never checking back, and I tend to think people will call $3 as often as they will call 250 or 2. So we're disconnected again. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Pretty frustrating to see that. I'm reconnected now according to this. I mean, it builds the delay up, so hopefully you guys are still are not affected by it. think we have to bet this because we don't really want to call a turn lead without at least ace high, and we can't really min raise a turn lead because people will continue with ace high, but he might fold to ace high to a bet on the flop. So I'd rather bet there. If that's the case, it would be much simpler to play the hand by betting. This looks pretty laggy here. I think we'll try for another table here. Yeah. And if we get the same one, whatever, you know, we'll just play it because it's not the worst scenario. I mean, we'll have a lot of shoving spots. But I was just trying to get a more fishy looking, although that could be fishy, I don't know. I guess it was a small sample. But we don't get a table at all. We get this shit. We might be able to get right back here, though. I think this is a different table. Look, we got two really short stacks to our right. I think it's different. They weren't this short, were they? No, I don't think I would have been on the button already. So I think this is a different table, and this is promising, hopefully. Okay. And we'll bet fold this turn. This table might be promising. We'll stay here. Just says I reconnected again to OBS. Great. Maybe I need to post something on the OBS forums. We don't have any reads here. I think it's, I mean, people do three bet light in this spot sometimes, but I just don't have a read strong enough to just stick it in here. Been on this table a while. Yeah, this doesn't look like a good table at all. Probably should jump ship. I think we'll probably do that. I don't know, this guy just limped, although he is behind me. Yeah, we're going to leave this table. If I can get this out of the way quick enough. Whoops. I think we got a different table here, and we might be able to post next hand, so that works. Another one of these two shorties to my right. I like it. Promising anyway. Doesn't mean that it's a good table. It just more likely to be a good table than if it was two full stacks. I don't like that when everybody folds to my open. I mean, I like that they folded when I have jack high, but I don't like to be on a table where that's the case. So we'll jump ship here. Keep rotating in tables whenever possible. Try to find greener pastures. It's hard to believe half the month's already over. We got a poster here under the gun. That's our hijack. That's a promising thing. So yeah, halfway through the month. It's the 16th. So yeah, 2 weeks. We'll take a look at the bankroll and see how we did for the month. But hopefully that's like 15,000 hands away. So who knows? I kind of have no idea. where my bankroll stands right now. It could be anywhere from 2,500 to 4,500, honestly. I know that's a big spread, but I wouldn't be surprised by either of those numbers. And I guess it doesn't matter either way. We prefer it to be on the higher end, but I would be surprised if it's 3,700, 3,800 by the way I've ran, but who knows. Just depends on how bad the days have been where I felt like I was running bad and how good the days were when I felt like I was running good. But it's a small sample. Even the whole month is going to be a small sample, so we won't read too much into it. We'll just review, maybe look at a few hands, look at the stats, and go from there. Rinse and repeat. Possibly move up if we do well enough. Ideally, I'd like to play 100 NL this month and 200 next month, but if the result isn't great this month, I'll stick to 100 NL. I'm in no huge hurry. It's nice to keep things going, progressing forward, but I have no ego requirements that require me to play higher. I think we will bet this one. This can be a check back sometimes. Yeah, it's just a bet fold. This can also, well, that's, he just called it raise with complete error, but it's good that he showed. So I might have liked it. If I knew that was that type of player, I would have checked back and raised the turn. He's obviously a play machine-y type player, you know. Well, oh yeah, boom, we get there. F and A. It's nice to get there. I have not been doing good in flips the last few days, so except for Sunday. So it's good to have that one. And we lost with Ace King versus a pair earlier, so a little bit of balancing there. Not that that's a thing. I think we check back this and play a turn if it checks to us. We're gonna have to be cautious on this board. Very cautious. I have a feeling. Well, okay, never mind. Check back. There's not that many good turns, but I would prefer to see a turn before we pump the size of the pot up, because I think we're getting check called almost always, at least check called by one of or two of these players. So, you know, I'd rather see the turn first. There are some aces in their ranges, and there's also some hands that just have us crushed anyway. But we also are good here sometimes. Are we good here often enough for a call is the question. We're getting 3.5 to 1. And is a jack even, I mean a queen even good for us if we got it? This is close. I could see a hand like 10-9 betting here, or 10x period. Yeah, I think we call one more street. I think this player would be pretty unlikely to bluff the river. Again, into two players. So I think if it checks down, we got even an ace here is going to check a lot. I think we just have to fold. It's possible he's bluffing, but less likely considering the circumstances. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling we're going to see a four-way pot whether we raise or not. And my hands, I'm a little too deep to shove here, so I kind of like a limp here. This player may be too fishy passive. Well, it's only 6 hands. I don't think we can call here, and I don't think we can raise. If we had less 25 big blinds, this could be a shove. I just have to go with the read I know, and he's 50-17. I tend to think that players, if he is this type of player, I tend to think he's going to be less. Yeah, I think it's going to be less likely for him to be weak here. Honestly, I think I have to fold here. It's kind of weak passive on my part, but I really am not sure we're ahead of his range if our read is correct. Now, if we know he's 60-30, fine, right? But I think we're just going to get off this table and Try to find another one. I'm kind of erring on the side of caution a little bit more this month, and I don't know. You know, if I'm on the fence about a decision, I tend to err on the side of caution. And I'm pretty sure that if I have 25 big blinds, I'm just putting it in there. Because I think the ranges slightly change. I think it matters. The size matters. 45 check limp shoving is a lot different than limp shoving 25 big blinds. I think I need a lot stronger range, or a lot stronger hand versus his perceived range. Hey, I hunker down. No, it wasn't linked to that. It's completely different. That was ransomware, which completely locks your entire computer and you can't access your files. Mine was just adware, where it just kept opening my browser and putting all these ads up in front and loading different types of software on my computer. And I'm apparently, you know, with his affiliate code or whatever, which means he would get paid every time I click the link or something. So it's a little different. I think it's actually probably more sophisticated than the software or the virus that just. I think that was more of an accident. I don't think the people that made that software were looking to hit the whole world. I think it just happened that way. Honestly think that was probably not that sophisticated of an attack. Because from what I understand, there were some pretty amateurish things written into the coding, like if somebody wanted their computer back, they had to manually go in and restore people's files versus it being automated. So there was not much automation there. So that makes people think it was not that sophisticated. Amateurish. It's probably just some people in their basement. I think a raise here is fine. I think he's going to have some draws that I'm ahead of. And he'll have just crap. Like he'll have a 6-hand, or it'll be a probing bet with pocket 7s or something. He'll just fold if I raise. Open this because we have this guy. I've got shot here, so gonna bet pretty big because we want to take it down right now. I think on this board, with no hope to improve, we would just check back and give up against this type of player. And in certain rivers we can bet, like that river we can bet if he doesn't lead, obviously. So we'll just try and rep the ace here, and hopefully he doesn't have a piece of the board and call. I think my fish might even be to my left again on this table, so we might be looking for a new table here. I think the presence of fish here kind of belies the actual fishiness of the overall table, so yeah, we're going to look for a different table here. I think we can open this. We'll try this one. Certainly bet our third pair here with backdoors and such. Possibly folds better. Possible. We're repping nothing here by insta-checking back. We're going to check back on this really draw-heavy board and play accordingly. We're just going to call here. And we'll ship the 5s with only 20 big blinds. We can't raise here, even though we have... Well, there are some hands that might call that we're beating here, as we lose a flip here, I think. Yeah, it's alright. Now we just bet for value here. I think we protect our hand here. Probably find another table again. Seems like we're playing a little bit of musical chairs here. If there was a fish in the blinds, I would be flatting here on the button, but as is, gonna take off. I'm finding another table here as well. Let's do that. In fact, let's try and find 2 new tables here. If able. Whoops. Well, that didn't work out. So we'll leave this one. Let's try again. Well, we might end up with the same 2 tables, but whatever. That's why I wish there were table names. I mean, I can understand why they did that, but it still sucks. I mean, I could look at stack sizes, obviously, but when you got 2 you're doing, you can and you're streaming, it's hard to do that. Tend to get lazy. So we lost a flip up here during all that with 5s versus King Jack. Now, at face value, it might just look like, okay, that's a flip, right? And we lose or we win. But if you look at the ranges, he is going to, that is a huge losing play for him to call with King Jack, since my range is crushing his range. So I don't know what the bottom of his range is, but I do know that King Jack is minus EV there, just because I know my range. And King Jack is kind of a sucker hand. It looks good, but it's really crappy. It just doesn't match up versus ranges very well. Unless my range is pair heavy, he's pretty much toast. I might be able to highlight that a little bit for you in Poker Stove. Like I have, my range is like, I think 4s was a pretty, I think 5s was the bottom of my range there. 4s I probably flat or fold, just so you know that. But my range in that spot was something like this. It's like 10% of hands. And he called me with King Jack offsuit. So raise that, fold that, eventually fold that, bet that bigger. Okay, we turn a pair. That's good. We're betting again. Oh, that's a little too small. I should have bet 4 there. Yuck. Well, I mean, it's kind of a dry board. I think he's going to have a lot of floats. And I think he's going to raise light if I bet too small, so... yeah, if we call here, we have to check call the river. And it's going to be like for our stack. Anything get there? I mean, he's getting really polarized here, right? He's never going to do this with an 8. So he's either got a 3, pocket 8s, which he's 3-betting a lot, pocket 6s, which is impossible, or just a bluff. How many 3s are in his range for flatting blind versus blinds? So, man, I guess if I think of it that way, I have to call there. And he actually has a 3. I'm going to stick by it there because he either has a 3 or nothing every time there. So, and there's not many 3s. He should not be defending with queen 3. He should be 3-betting or folding. So if he has a 3, it's like 4-3 suited, 5-3. So I just have to go with my read. My read was that in a vacuum, players don't normally defend unless he had ace 3, I guess king 3 suited maybe. Queen 3 offsuit should be a fold. That's not going to show a profit for a flat there. Of course, if he's a fish, that's a different thing. But I did not have that read at that time. So sure, I could have took the nitty route, but I think that's a good opportunity for me to, having induced the turn with a smaller bet, pick up a nice sized pot there from a bluff. And I'm pretty sure that he's bluffing in a vacuum more than he's got it in that spot. So at least often enough for me to make that play. So yeah, after I put 3 in, if I put $6 of my 25 stack or whatever, I think I have to just go with it. I kind of talked myself into it there. I guess if I had just gone with my initial reaction, which is just fold, I would have been fine, but yeah, we have to go with our reads, right? I think more often than not, we're just going to see something like crap. Like 10 high or queen high or something like that. Now if I had bet 5 and he raised the turn, it's a little bit different. So I guess I maybe, even though I've got more money invested, I think it's more of a check fold or bet fold. I don't know. We'll just go with it. But back to that other hand, King Jack against my range there has 35% equity, which is not enough for him to call in that spot. I'm pretty confident. I think he needed like 43, 44% to call, if I'm thinking correctly. So, yep. Let's try again down here. Get rid of this table. Okay, this is a different one, I think. Yep, because it was, we would have been, yeah. I think I like more high strength card strength to raise with the fish in the blind there, or something connected, suited, something that flops better. I don't think deuces is a huge mistake there, but I think it's tough, very tough to turn a profit under the gun with deuces, even with that guy in the blinds. Hunker Down asks, I see the terms coordinated are not on flops. Are you familiar with polarized and merged flop textures? Yep, I sure am. And if I thought that player was that sophisticated, I would worry about that, but I don't think he has that many mergy hands there. Like, I guess a mergy hand on that board would have been like 7s. I think that he's value owning himself there when he takes that line against having no reads on me. Now, if we had some kind of history, I mean, it's one thing, but I do see that play sometimes on those type of boards, but yeah, I'm not gonna factor that in against what is likely either a fish or a bad reg. Maybe this was a mistake here because this guy looks passive, but it worked out for us, hopefully. Hopefully that's not a bad sign because he did that. Okay, so we get it in very good here. And we hold. That's good. His ace was not an out. All he basically had to hit his flush draw or some kind of crazy runner. So that worked out for us. It's nice to win one, a 70-30 or whatever that was. 67, 35. Now, is this the tilt 3-bet? Yeah, this is probably a tilt 3-bet a lot. Blah, blah, blah. The only thing is, I would prefer to have something like 10-9 suited to call here. Something that if he happens to have the part of his range that is not a bluff, doesn't dominate the shit out of us. Honestly, just going to give him this one right here. I kind of want to see how the hand plays out, even though I want to kind of get another table up here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pull another table up here. But yeah, that's a tilt raise a lot. And there's some scenarios I could flat or shove even, but I don't think my read was strong enough to do that. Just because I think it's sometimes or more often than usual a tilt 3-bet doesn't mean it necessarily was in that spot. I mean, sometimes he'll just have picked up aces on the next hand. It's just a very good time for him to pick up aces. So yeah, thanks for letting me know about the stream going down. I wish there was something I could do about it. And I probably just need to go back to the old OBS and see if that fixes it, because I don't know what else to try. It could turn out just to be my internet connection in some way, because my delay is built up to 100 seconds more than it started already, and I assumed that was kind of smoothing out the problems, but apparently not. So we'll see. This is an okay table. This guy's here. We don't know there. This one looks good. This one's good, probably. Just don't know yet. This might be more of the aggro fishy type, or it could just be an unnormalized reg of some type. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating with the stream going down 4 times. I guess what I need to do is just download the old OBS and try it, and see if it happens there. And if it doesn't, I'll just stick with it. And if it does, I haven't lost anything. I can just go right back to here or investigate further. I probably just need to do a little more investigating first off. I think I definitely have a good price to call here, and I don't think this guy's loose enough for me to shove. So just try to hit a set and see what happens. We do hit a set on a pretty damn crazy board here. But it's a set. I'm not going to check fold for 26 big blinds. Hopefully this guy just has like aces without a heart or something. Or ace queen with a heart would be like good. Hopefully not a set over set type spot. Aces without a heart. And we hold. So my first read was, even though, I mean, how can you have a read like that? So it was just a lucky guess. And that was just more of a hope, and we kind of got best case scenario there, I think. I mean, I guess a better hand for him to have would be like king queen without a heart, but whatever. So we get to double up there again. That's sweet. Let's keep that shiznit up. See if I can Google OBS. OBS Studio. What's a good way to put this? OBS Studio. Disconnecting, reconnecting. See if there's just anything out right off the top of the thread, or first or 2 threads there. OBS repeatedly keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. That's OBS, that's not Studio. Yeah, I think this is OBS. This might be regular OBS. I think I already went through this guide. Changing servers, I did that. Lowering bitrate, I did that. Don't stream over wireless, I don't. Try streaming another service? I didn't try that. Twitch. I'm not going to switch to my... I'm going to skip. There's no way I'm trying that. Check your firewall, router, antivirus. Okay. Well, I just changed antivirus to a different one, so I know it's not that probably. And in fact, I have it in gaming mode, so hopefully that would take care of that. Now, even though that's probably a different thing. Speed test or rough estimates. Little to do with regards to streaming. See, the thing is, I don't think it has anything to do with like a connection issue because I've streamed for so long without any issues. Update network adapter driver. Bad router. I don't think it's any of this stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that doesn't really help me, I don't think. I don't have any dropped frames or anything before it happens. Right? Just randomly out of nowhere just disconnects. So I don't know. I can't tell whether this is a new table. I should have looked at the... I guess it doesn't matter. We'll get our reads quick enough. This is a bummer. Because I hate spending time troubleshooting. I mean, I just hate that. I need to spend my time playing or playing with my kids or something. You know, not this technical crap. Although I do want a quality stream. I'm just going to switch. I think I'm going to switch back. What's the difference, right? It's going to look the same to you guys. It's going to have less features for me maybe, but I don't do that switch between screens thing anymore anyway. So I think I'm going to go with it. Maybe I'll try one more server too. I don't know. So we'll defend here with the Queen Jack. Kind of a deja vu there. I think this is a dry board that he will be c-betting a lot. So I think if I raise this 7, I'm going to show a profit. And I do have some good turn cards for my hand in case he calls. Like a 10, we can realize some equity. But I think on a dry board like this, he's betting 250 to fold. It's a bet fold. Yeah, these threads are freaking from like 2013, so that doesn't help me. Here's some disconnecting, reconnecting. Aha, it says solution. Alright. Alright, this is a YouTube video. I'll go through it right after I finish the stream. And see if we can't do that, to get it fixed. Oh well. Sorry about this. If you guys are experiencing it still. Man, I can't talk. Get the aces here. Got a 58 VPIP in the blind, so I'll raise a little bit bigger here. Might as well if he's going to call with the same range anyway, so... Don't fold, everybody! Come on, this is your first hand. Make a statement. Show that you're the table sheriff and 3-bet me. Okay, at least flat. This board connects really well with his range. So I'm going to overbet shove and give him a chance just to put it in. Yay! Yay, Mr. Fish, sit right down and give me some money. I love it. That's pretty cool. Get out of my way. Is this the same table? I don't know. God bless it, I gotta start checking the no extra with my queens. That sucks. Sucks to pick up a big pair on the button and not get action. That's like biggest cooler. So it's nice to get easy money like that, you know? I wonder if my shove made him more likely to call with his 5 than less likely, because it does look bluffy when I shove, right? Looks like I have a draw. So I think he probably calls if I bet a half pot, and he probably calls if I bet pot, and he probably calls if I shove, though, a lot of the time. But at least he's going to just put it in always when he calls for a shove. And I think if he calls a shove 20% of the time, calls a half pot 90% of the time, the shove's still probably better. Considering he might, if he folds turns, you know. If you do the math on that anyway. Let's see if we can get this. Wow, so this would be a decent spot to flat. Now that I think about it, I shouldn't have acted so quick. This guy's opening wide. This guy might be squeezing wide. Yeah. I didn't check this table again. I'm assuming it's a different table, though. We can't get... I don't think that was a good table we were on, so... Or maybe this guy was a semi-fish or something. Yeah, it's hard for me to talk, pay attention to reads, and play. Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine it being on the Twitch end, because wouldn't there be like a massive amount of people, and wouldn't it be not a long, like happening every stream to me? I can't imagine it being Twitch. I guess anything's possible. Really polarizing bet, but whatever. I'm not gonna call on a 4 flush with so little invested. So we've been streaming almost 55 minutes. We'll give it another few minutes here, then we'll call it a day. I think this is a clear call spot if somebody leads. I imagine somebody's calling here with like a King X type hand, or 6-7. Not likely to be a heart draw, they're probably leading that, but possible. Could also sometimes be a weak ace, or a 4X even, or something like that. I think we're just going to get called by like King 10 here a lot. Or if we get called. And we'll certainly be able to find out. Nobody checks back aces much, so, or most people bet aces or think people are betting aces, so it's pretty lucrative to check it back on that type of board. So he had King Deuce. My read was pretty close. He wasn't as strong as I thought, but King Deuce is a king, right? I still beat it. It's not 2 pair. You know, I was just thinking maybe it has something to do with the overlay software that I use, the site that I use, Strexim, I think is what it's called. I'm just going to do a quick search, Strexim causing disconnects, and see if it's a thing. I may quickly find out it's not a thing, or if it ain't ain't a known thing anyway. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't see anything about that, so oh well. Yeah, full stacks here, so let's try for another one. Did not happen. Try for another one. Probably the same crap table, but beggars can't be choosers in the new environment, right? Alright, so we'll just play maybe one or two more hands here if they come up. We got about 2 more minutes left in the stream. I'm not going to be playing the 10 highs or 8 highs here, probably. Actually, what am I talking about? This is an open, I think. Not anymore. It's pretty damn close. I would be flatting 10-8 suited here with these guys in the blinds. It's just a premium to see flops versus these type of players, even though that price isn't great. It's still a hand that can flop a lot of stuff, right? So, but I prefer to be suited. Oh, do we defend? I think we defend this. Certainly a good board for us to float. And sometimes he'll check back turns and we can just take it down on the river. Sometimes we'll improve. We're going to protect here. If he barrels, we'll probably just have to fold here. Since it's not really a great turn card for him to bluff barrel, we'll have to assume that he's got something for value there a lot. Okay, thanks Hunker, I appreciate that. Still no excuse, I want to give a quality experience. I don't want people pissed off by my disconnects, any more than I am at least. I think we still bet again. He's going to have king and jack X here a lot. We could also have like 10 high, queen high. Or just a float. So yeah, we'll go ahead and end the stream. I'm going to work on getting this crap fixed, I promise. Once again, I apologize for the issues, but we will try to solve that ASAP. And hopefully we have a better experience next time we stream. So thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.